I didn't know how to do PowerPoints a couple of years ago because technology is not my thing. And he immediately informed me that if I'd have to learn to do PowerPoints or I'd be a little old lady in tennis shoes. So I learned PowerPoint. Let me see if I know how to work this. Aha, I do, see? Every time I do a program on careers, I quote Mark Twain. Mark Twain says, you can't no more teach what you don't know than come back from where you ain't been. And when I talk with you about recareering, changing careers, and taking charge of your life at midlife, I have been there. There's not anything I teach my clients to do that I haven't experienced. And one of the first things I tell clients when they come to me, this is not a quick process and it's not fast, it's very comprehensive, very thorough. And if you're leaving an old identity and you're going to a new one, there is a period of time in there, there is a period of time when you don't have any identity, and that is scary. You can ask any of my clients and they will say they feel like they don't have it. That's when we are forced to be creative about what we do next. When I get someone at midlife and they are talking with me about, I don't know what to do, I'm unhappy, I need to do something, I pose this question. I say, what would you do if you were 20 years younger? What would you do if you took 20 years off your chronological age? And the interesting thing is, frequently, they can readily tell me what they would do if they took those years off. So I tell them, we're going to live longer. So if you take those years off, that's exactly what I did. I started this business when I was 50 years old. But of course, I'm still only 55, and I've been doing it for 30 years, but don't count that up. I went out and I bought a bunch of Toffler's Future Shock. And Future Shock, I don't know whether it changed their lives, but it sure changed mine. Because he said we would be changing careers 3 to 5 times. That was unheard of in those days. That was ridiculous. So he said, we are today, right now today, we are in future shock. With all of the chaos and uncertainty, the shattering stress and disorientation that we induce in individuals by subjecting them to too much change in too short a time. I could see this coming. "35 years ago, I thought about starting a school for infants, for children up to 4 years old, because I knew then that children's minds were developed when they were little. But people, it was too far out. I would have been really considered a weirdo. But now we know that that's true. But at that point, I realized nobody would pay me to do that. We have our stories and our myths of the way things are supposed to be. And these are our subconscious beliefs. They're half-truths that we inherited from our culture on the way the world is supposed to work. I spent 40 years I came from the silent generation. Silent generation, we didn't question anything. And I spent the first 40 years following all the rules that were laid out. Exactly what I was supposed to do. And, you know, I worked hard in school. I didn't get pregnant. I didn't have to, you know, I was very, very careful about everything. And then when I was 40 years old, all of that just hit a brick wall. And the women of my generation, what you were supposed to do was marry a man with potential and then help them, you know, and you didn't do anything on your own. Well, I married a man with potential, and just about the time he reached the top, he started down. So I had to get out and do my own thing. I didn't have any choice. The one common thing every client I talk with, no matter what their level of education, and some of them very high, you know, we have more degrees, you wouldn't believe the degrees that sometimes we accumulate. No matter how much money they've made, everyone who thinks about making really serious changes talks about fear. Fear is the common denominator in this whole thing. So it takes courage to change to the unknown potential. We are going to have to be able to deal with change effectively, which is the challenge. And I've listed some characteristics, and I want you to notice that all these characteristics start with a C because I have practically a Ph.D. in English, and I know what alliteration is. Here we are. We want control. This is a type CC. Challenge, confidence, commitment. We could talk for a week about all of these things. Creativity, these are what we're talking about. Baby boomers want these things, young people too. Okay, we want to be competent, courage to do this, cooperation, change, common sense, curiosity, and then we come to the most important one, which is next. I say, we have to have a sharp crap detector. If we're going to make it in today's world, we can have all these other things, but this is the bottom thing that we really need, because so many of the things that we've counted on are now, they're not there anymore. This is what's happening to many people right now. You've been with a company and you're 50 and fired. And it's bad enough, but out-of-work executives are facing what they said was a permanent vacation. Now, what I do is say, that is crap. We don't have to have a permanent vacation. We can do something about it. My meaning magnet, I am a teacher, you know, and I'm a grower. You know, I grow people, I grow myself, I grow plants, I grow anything. I grow people whether they want to grow or not. As long as they get in front of me, they better expect it.